All right, so I'll share my screen here in just a bit. Good one, Dan. Good question. What is the meaning of life? That is what we're going to discuss today. Just kidding. Let's see here. All right. Sorry, guys. Just had to get everything set up. I'm also listening to music while I'm doing this, so I'll be watching the question side. But what we're going to try to achieve is the ultimate mouth rig, is what I'll call this. So I'm going to make a new file, and I'm just going to show you what I've kind of been working on. So if you're in the group, obviously you've seen this, and I pretty much butchered this character trying to get it to rig correctly. So that's what I'm going to be working on right now. So first off, what I think you should do to create the ultimate mouth rig is, let's go ahead and set up everything real quick here. So I'm going to do a face. Oh, at least make it circular. Okay. And when we get to that point, we'll go ahead and we'll add some more features to the face. But I've been going over kind of just older stuff that I've done in the past for mouth rigs, and I actually realized I was really good then than I am now. So I'm going to create my mouth. I'm going to do teeth. I'm going to do tongue. Okay. So I'm just going to start setting up all of the different mouthpieces that I think I'll need. Teeth, tongue. That's about it. Okay. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'll actually give this mouth or this head a different shape. Oops. Basically, all we're trying to do is just set up a character. I'm going to show you from the ground up what I am trying to achieve here. Okay, so this will be our character's head. Kind of doesn't look like anything now, but we'll make something of it as we go. Okay, so we'll do the mouth. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we got the mouth there. Add another point there in the middle. And what I want to achieve with this mouth is I want to keep everything symmetrical. It's not exactly symmetrical, but I wanted to keep this part straight. That's the whole reason why I used a triangle there, is to keep that flat part there. Sorry, Spotify is playing commercials and it's really throwing me off right now. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a tongue. And that's just a simple, something like that. Not exactly. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just color that a different color here real quick. Okay, that works. All right. And then, sorry, I got something in my eye. Let's see here. And then I got the teeth. Oh, that's funny. I like how I said I got something in my eye, yet I don't have like a webcam or anything on me. Durr. So you couldn't have even seen that in the first place. I'm used to doing screencasts where I have my little camera in the corner. Okay, so we went ahead and we created these three mouth shapes. We're going to do masking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group with selection. So I'm going to group all these with selection. I'll just call this mouth. And I'm going to double click this layer and I'm going to do hide all. And what that's going to do is hide all those things. And I need to switch that so that the teeth are above the tongue. There we go. So that way it goes behind there. All right, awesome. Okay, so the next thing that I want to achieve with this is, or not achieve, but do with this is smart bones. So let's go ahead and set up our smart bones. Okay, so I'm going to put all of this inside of a bone layer. I'm going to call this bone layer head. Okay, so I got my face and I got my mouth, and I'm going to drag it into the bone layer. It's indexed like that or indented to show that it is part of that bone group now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw multiple bones out, and I'm going to use not that I'm not even going to save. I destroyed that thing. Let's see here. Open my files real quick. Now I'm going to reference an old file that I did quite some time ago. Okay, delete that. Okay, and I'll take all that out. All right, so this is kind of what I'm going to reference because this is what I'm wanting to achieve. Not so much anything with the eyes. I'm not going to do anything with the eyes or head turns right now. I'm just going to focus on a mouth. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out my bones. So I got my bone for open and closed mouth. And as you can see here, it's highlighted red. And if I draw out another bone, it's going to parent those two together. And that's easy to get rid of. All you do when that's highlighted is you just click off of it. Okay, so I'm going to name this bone open. Oops, computer just froze. Open, close. Okay, so it's going to be called open, close. And it'll be labeled here in a second. I'm going to separate these two out a little bit further. Just drag it out over there. And this one I'm going to do, let's see, width, height. Okay. Height. How did that work? Let me just double check this real quick. Oh, okay. So that's more for like a frown. Okay. So I'll set this one as the, I'll call this narrow / width, or not width, wide. Okay. And then the other one that I'm going to do is open, close, height. So I'll call this, so basically he's already happy, but I'll call this happy frown. Oops, I totally forgot to draw the bone. So this bone here is the width or narrow and wide. So you just select the bone with B on your keyboard. Oops. All right, and I'm going to create a new bone. Make sure nothing's highlighted there. And I'll just draw it down here. Doesn't really matter where you draw it. I'm going to call this one, oh, what did I just say? I was going to call that. Oh, okay. This one's going to be happy frown. Okay. So you can name these whatever you want. I'm just labeling these so I can see what it is that I want to name these. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make all these bone dials now, smart bone dials. And the best way to do that in Anime Studio 11 is you're going to go into bone, make smart bone dial. It's already labeled. I don't do it by 90. I like how it looks at 25, and I only do around 24 or 48 frames. I'll just keep it at 24. And then I'll separate these actions for positive and negative angles. Go ahead and hit OK. So I created that bone. Don't want to do anything with it yet. I'm going to go ahead and make this another bone dial. Everything's good. Perfect. All right. I'm going to go back to main line. And I'm going to go to this last one, bone, make smart bone dial. Same thing. All right. So what I did is I just created these bone dials. So they have their constraints at 50 and negative 50 angles. And that allows me to move those freely. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to do, let's see here. So I got my bones. I want to add another bone for lips. So I'm going to hit B on my keyboard for the select bone, just click, and that clicks it off. Hit A on my keyboard to make a bone. And I'm going to call this lips. Okay, so I'll have a separate bone just to control the lips themselves. I found that this is why I think this is the ultimate rig that I've created yet so far, because Being able to control your teeth and your lips separately helps a lot for different mouth shapes. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to this, lips, make that as bone. Okay, very good. All right. I guess I can throw in some gums in there. So we'll go back to the head, the mouth, and if anyone has a question that's watching and you're kind of lost at what's going on, feel free to ask me a question. I'll definitely help you out. So the next part, I'm going to go to my vector, and I'm going to call this gums. So I'm going to give this guy some gums real quick. Okay, it's nothing fancy. And you're probably like wondering like, what the heck, those aren't gums, but I'll make them into gums pretty soon here. That's what I love about Anime Studio. You can just like make everything and then just curve it and you're done. Just draw all these mountain jaggedy pieces. Okay, cool. So it matched his mouth there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these. And I'm just going to curve them. Symbolize teeth. Oh my gosh. I'm going to change this song. Hate remixes of good bands. They just destroy their music. All right. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to flip it vertically. All right, there we go. And I'll flip it horizontally because that still looks a little off. Make sure that these don't match up exactly. Okay, so as you can see there's quite a lot of gum stuff going on, and that's all right. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, looks okay. I might not do the gums all together, but we'll just use them for now. Let's see. The next thing that I have is my tongue. So my next bone that I'm going to create, I'm going to go back to the bone layer, and I'm going to do a tongue. Okay, and I'll just call this tongue. All I want to do with the tongue essentially is I want to change the shape. So when I want to do like a L, I'll just have the tongue go up, and it's very easy. For the bone smart dial, I'm just going to have one angle. So I'm just going to have 50, and it's just going to be called tongue. And as you can see there, it's just going to go to one angle. All right, very good. So what I have right now is all my bones set up. Just make sure none of them are parented to each other, and they are not. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So the next thing that I'm going to do, let's go ahead and just give this guy a face real quick, just so he's got something. Trying to think. I'm going to do like circular little circle eyes. Give him a little bit of life. Oops, that was weird. What is going on here? And it's like that. Okay, copy and paste that. Cool. All right, so he's got a little bit of life to him. He's a little weird head thing there. Okay, so we got our character. Let's go ahead and start creating the ultimate mouth rig. Not really ultimate, but the next thing that I want to do actually is I want to actually give this a little bit. I wanted to have it as a square head. That would have been cool, but I got to show you what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, so let's just totally make this thing a little bit creepy, but that's okay. Okay. All right, so how can I do this? Because I still want his face to be square. I'll work with it as we go. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go into each one of these smart bones and start creating our smart bones now. So open and close. I'm going to click into that. I'm going to hit Control K. That's quick for window actions. So we're going to go in our actions window, and I'm going to start creating my smart bones. So, or my actions for my smart bones. So the first thing is open. His mouth's already open, but let's go ahead and make it a little bit wider. So when you think of a head, you have your two part of the mouth. You have your bottom jaw, and then you have the I don't know if it's called the top jaw or if it's just the top of your mouth or what it's called. But this doesn't move ever. Okay. So when you open and you close your mouth, your teeth aren't moving up and down. These will always stay stationary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move just this bottom part of his mouth. So here I am at frame 24. You can see that that little bone there is to the left there, showing that that has opened, I guess, when we open the mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to drag out the mouth pretty wide. I'll make this pretty drastic. Okay. Now with that, it is important to move, say if this was his chin, this little square here, you're going to move his chin out as well. So you kind of keep that same distance there so I can see that his chin mouth are probably about there. Okay. That's where this one's not going to really work very well for an example, but that's okay. That's kind of what I wanted to show you there. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move the tongue. So when his mouth goes down, actually, you know what? I'm going to do his teeth first. So when his teeth and his gums go down, I'm going to highlight both of those. And instead of moving points, I'm going to move the layers because I can move 2 at a time if I move layers. So I'm going to hit M on my keyboard and I'm just going to drag those down. Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. That's not going to work. So I'm going to do it separately. So I'm going to do just the teeth here. And to do these set of teeth, I'm going to select the points. I'll go ahead and drag those down. Okay. And I want to keep the gums there in line with the teeth. So as it's going down, the gums are going down appropriately. And I'll just select these gums down here. Okay. Okay, that kind of works. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the tongue. Okay. All right, very good. So there we go. Let's see. It's red. Okay. So we have the mouth opening. Now let's go ahead and, okay, so the tongue probably wouldn't move that much. Let me move that up just a little bit. There we go. It looks a little bit better. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to close the mouth. So when I say close the mouth, we're not going to do anything with the lips here. What I'm going to do, actually, you know what? I'll bring the lips close. Let's see here. Am I going to do this? So what I was planning on doing actually is moving just this bottom portion there without moving this here. So let me do that real quick because I'm kind of messing this as I go, and I just thought I'd show you the process as I try and figure out how to do this. So just that part there, I guess I can move that down. That's not a problem. Oops. Okay, so as the mouth's opening, it's moving down so it doesn't fall past that mouth part there. Sorry, it's on commercial again on Spotify, and it's 2 people talking. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the mouth, open and close. I'm going to go to close 2 because now we're going to close the mouth. So now instead of closing the mouth itself, with when he closes his mouth, instead of having him close his mouth as well, I'm just going to move his teeth up. And this is going to look a little weird, but we'll fix it with smart bones and everything. So I'm just going to have his teeth go up into his head there. Trying to get that right. So it'll look like that. I don't know why it keeps on opening the other window. That's annoying. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the gums. And I'm going to bring the gums up to about there. And I'm going to highlight these 3 points. And I'm going to drag those back down. And drag that back up just a little bit there, just so that there's no holes. Okay. So that's essentially what I want to accomplish right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a separate smart bone for the bottom lip. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the head, go back to the main line, and we'll just test these, make sure it works okay. All right, cool. So that works okay. Kind of looked like it was popping right there, but it looks like it's okay now. All right, very good. Okay, so we got that. The next thing that we're going to do is the happy frown. Oops. I don't know why it keeps on going there. That's very weird. Let me. So it's on main line. Delete that. Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? So I'm just wanting to delete that keyframe. There we go. So now when I move this, okay. So I created a keyframe on frame 24 and I didn't mean to do that. So just make sure everything's still good. Everything's still good. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the narrow and wide. And this is the whole reason why I kept everything symmetrical there, is because I'm going to be moving this for the narrow and wide positions. Technically, in this case, his mouth is already wide. I mean, you can make it go wider, but we'll exaggerate it a little bit. But first off, in order to make that wide part of his face work, I'm going to add a point here and a point here and a point here and a point here. Gosh, it keeps on taking me frame 24. I don't want it to do that. Okay, let me figure out what's going on here. Just undo everything. Okay, in line. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to my face and I'm going to add the respective points. I'm just going to add 2 points there, so that's fine. I'm going to go back into the narrow wide bone. So first, we're going to do narrow, okay? And I'm going to do this essentially just by grabbing the mouth, and I'm going to be moving these close together, so narrow. Okay, and I won't mess with the curvature or anything like that, or maybe I will. Let's see here. Yeah, that's fine. So what you can do with smart bones, this is a tip that I got from Havern from the Lost Marble Forum back when I was starting this. When you're doing smart bones, you can actually move 2 smart bones at once to kind of mess around with it and see how everything works. So I can actually go and I hit T on the keyboard to, make sure I'm on the bone layer. Hit T on my keyboard to do the translate bone tool. I think this is what it's called, transform bone tool. And I can move that up and down to see how that's still going to work there. And as you can see, it's going to work pretty good. Obviously, we're not going to do a mouth shape like that. So I'll just go ahead and delete that, because essentially what I'm doing, I'm on narrow wide, and I'm just testing these just to see how these work. But I don't want, as this narrow wide bone is moving, for example, that as open and close is moving, I don't want that to go narrow. So I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to make sure on the narrow that I just created, that's really weird, my animation went away. I think I deleted the keyframes. So I'm going to put keyframes so that as that's moving, that bone's moving to the left, that mouth is going narrow. Okay. All right. Yeah, definitely will do. Cake H777. I will definitely keep getting more tutorials like this out to you. Yeah, if you have any questions, definitely ask me. I'm more than happy to help you out. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do wide. Okay, so wide, I'm going to make the mouth wider, obviously. So this is not really necessary since this is a already pretty wide mouth, but we'll go ahead and exaggerate it that much more. So I'm going to select these 2 points here. And I'm just going to increase the width there. Okay. And I won't do it that much, but with this, I will also, let's see here. Try and get this work. So this is going to be a little bit hard. It's going to curve a lot of points here. So we're going to have to do some curvature tool with the face here to kind of bring back its original shape, because this is going to look really weird. So just kind of match those up for like cheeks, and then just use your curvature tool to kind of smooth things out. Okay. So I wouldn't recommend doing a mouth this way as far as width goes. It was already a wide mouth, so you'd only need one action to make it more narrow. So as you can see, that looks a little weird, but that's just to show the width there. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the main line. I'm just going to make sure everything works. So I got open and close. Let's do open and close with the wide, cool, with narrow, awesome. So everything's working there. Oh, I haven't done anything with the frown yet. Okay. So far, that's what we got. And that would be a pretty funny character, just to have his mouth moving up and down like that. But when you put words, it's not going to work very well. So we got to create a couple more shapes here to make this work. So another thing that we're going to do is we're going to add emotion, so that when his mouth, depending on however he's moving his mouth, we got a happy and frown going here. Technically, he's already happy, but we'll go ahead and make him a little bit more happier as well. So let's click on the bone there, go into our happy frown, and we're going to do happy first. So essentially for happy, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the corners of his mouth and I'm just going to drag those up. Okay. As you can see there, it kind of leaves that pointed there. So what I'm going to have to do, and I'll have to work with this, is I'm going to curve it. Okay. So he was already happy, but we'll make him just a little bit more happier. Now, as that's curving, you can see there's black showing through to his gums. Now, let's make this guy really gummy. So we'll give him higher gums as his, oops, grabbed the wrong point there. Okay. So we'll drag that up there just like that. All right. Very good. So that is how that is going to work for the gums and for the happy. Now we're going to go back into the timeline, or the main line, excuse me, and we're going to select happy frown. And now we're going to make this guy frowny. Okay. So I'm going to go back into the mouth. And these 2 points here. And I'm going to drag them downwards. So now he's going to be frowny. And again, this is a little exaggerated, but something like that will work. And for the top of his mouth, I'll do something like that. Okay. And now we got to do the same thing. We got to go through the gums. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and drag those down, and everything else can stay the same as it is. All right. So let's go back to the main line and let's test this guy out one more time. So I got happy, frown, okay, kind of in between. And that's what's really cool about Smart Bones, is it does all the in-betweens for you. So if you want to do like some kind of different emotion there, you can do that as well. The other one you can do is your mouth while he's frowning. So he's just got a kind of got this creepy face going, or he's got like a scared face or a happy face. So it's really cool. You can do a lot with your emotions. And this is why there's a ton of different ways you can do lip syncing. This is what I'm setting this up for, is lip syncing. You can do lip syncing for, or in Anime Studio with Smart Bones. That's one option. It's very time consuming, but really I've played with a lot. I've done switch layers for simple animations. I've done Smart Bones, and I've done, I can't think of the other one, actions. I haven't done anything with morph dials really, because I think, to me, it just feels like morph dials are kind of the same thing as actions. So I haven't done much with those either. But basically, there's so many ways you can do this, and I found Smart Bones to be the best way. Because not only can you use Smart Bones for just this by itself, but I can make a head turn of this character and still have these different emotions going with his head turn. Okay, so here's one. If I wanted to, I can make his teeth come out a little bit further, But as you know, your teeth do end at some point in your mouth. So I'll just leave it like that. I was going to do something, but I decided not to. Okay, so we have those 3 things all set up there. Now, as you can see, you got to be careful with how you set up your smart bones. But as you can see there, there's kind of a distortion. And that's because I have everything to its extreme. So to fix those, all you need to do is just move those up and down. That's if you wanted to face like that. Now we're going to work with the lips because we don't want to face like that. So what I'm going to do with the lips, and this is really good for M's and stuff, because as you can see there, you want to control the teeth. However, maybe you want the I don't know, the teeth to be showing for some things, and every time that you close the mouth, you don't want to attach your lips to it. So you want to keep those as 2 separate actions. And I'll show what I mean in a second. It's kind of hard to explain. Okay, so I'm going to go to my lips. Control K. And I'm going to go, let's see here. So lips, I thought I created one. That's weird. So what I wanted to do with the lips actually is I'm going to go into my constraints, and I'm just going to reset my constraint. So I'm going to set 0. Okay, so now the angle of this bone is only going one way. Thus, the lip 2, I think is what it is. Nope. Just the one labeled lips is null. I don't even need to use that. So I'll just use lips 2 for this action there. Okay. So I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so lips. So as that is at its extreme position, actually with lips, I can just keep it as a frame. It's not really too big of a deal. So what I'm going to do with that lip is I'm going to take the mouth and I'm just going to close it. Okay. So this allows me to do my P's, my B's, my F's. F's would be a little bit different actually. And you can do more advanced things with smart bones. But I'll get into that probably a little bit later. So this probably won't be the ultimate mouth rig, but it'll be close enough. And I'll go back into my main line. And the last thing that I'm going to do is the tongue. So I'm going to go to the tongue. And as I can see there, it has its constraint to move the tongue that direction. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tongue, Alt right click. That's how you can select the shape pretty quick here. I forgot about that. You can take the tongue and just basically transform it. So now it's the tongue that touches, let's see here, top of his mouth. Okay, very good. All right, so now let's go back to our, oops. What the heck just happened? Go back to our main line. All right, and now I'm gonna go through each and every one of these things and see how it's working right now. Something just happened with my tongue. I don't know what, or the lips, I mean. So it works. Let's see what's going on. It won't let me rotate it. It's really weird. That's rotating. That is not rotating. Oh, this is the lips. Okay, what happened to my lips? Okay, I have to figure out what happened to lips. I think the reason why that's not working is because this is labeled lips 2 and there's no lips 1. So we'll just go ahead and just name this lips. Looks like it's still controlling it, but technically it shouldn't be, is what it's trying to tell me. So I think what I need to do is I need to go back to mainline. And I'm just going to rename this. I'm just going to call this lip and see if this cuts me some slack here. So rename that lip. I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to rename this lip. Okay, there it goes. So now it created a new smart bone. It assigned a new smart bone to that labeled lip. There we go. Now that works. All right, cool. And then I got tongue, open, mouth, close. Okay, so the one that I want to test is this one. So I can now, as you can see that, I can bring his lip up. Obviously, it doesn't go up all the way because what I did is I set his lip to go up while this open close position is like that. So I can go like and have like little goofy mouth shapes there. But in order for that lip to be fully closed, this has to be in its standard position, the open close, because that's how I created the smart bone with all of these in their standard position. So anytime that I have this close, have like that as well. I can close the mouth. But anytime that this point would be moving down and I try to move this lip up, the smart bone is controlling the same point, but it's going to be controlling the, let's see here. So for example, I move this point down. So that point technically is right there. If you could see the mouth, zoom in on that. And then when I go and I control this point, oop, that's the tongue. It's going to pull that point up. Okay, so this is not a, I can't think of the word, but basically that point is being controlled by two smart bones. And you want to be wary of that. You have wide, and same thing, I can still do closed. I can do my closed lip, which is still pretty cool there. And that's because I kept all these points exactly symmetrical from one another. Maybe not 100%, but that's okay. But I also kept them 100% straight. So when I want to do like a frown and I want to bring that in narrow, I still have that playroom. As you can see right there, it gets a little distorted, looks a little weird, but I can do a closed teeth right there. And I can do the lip to curl up a little bit more. As you can see, that point's trying to meet up with that other point, but because these are out of their standard positions, it's not making it, but we'll help it a little bit. And it's so cool because look at that. You can do like all these cheesy things. Like here's almost like an F, okay? So he looks like he's got like this cheesy little smirk thing going on because I have full control of his lips, okay? So that's what I would call the ultimate mouth rig so far. I should probably retitle this video, but that's what I've been able to achieve so far. So again, with this, if anyone cares to learn, I can keep on going. But you can go and create head turns now, and all of these points will still, all of these will still work in that head turn. Now you got to be a little bit careful on how you do it, but to be quite honest, it's freaking awesome how these smart bones work, because they will work as a head turns. Let's go ahead and try it. It's been a while since I've done it. Trying to think if I want to do it or if there's something else I want to show. What I could do is I could record something, and then let's see if my speaker is working. Bear with me just a moment. Whoa, that's weird. Okay, I don't know why it's selecting that point. All right. Let's see here. So I'm gonna make sure my sound's on. Oh, my sound's not found. That's great. Don't save. I'm gonna go into one of my other, something that I know has a sound in it. Shoot, what has the sound in it? Okay, this one does. Hello and welcome to the group. Okay, just making sure my other speaker's plugged in. So give me a second. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my speaker up here on the table. Hopefully you can hear everything. Okay, so I'm gonna readjust my mic a little bit, and we're gonna go over lip syncing. Okay, so we set up our ultimate mouth rig. Now let's do a little bit of lip syncing. All right, let's see here. Robin Real Time says it looks like Terrence and Philip. I don't know who that is. Let me Google that real quick. Terrence and Philip. Oh, yeah, a little bit, I guess. That's just some random thing I just threw together. Okay, so let's go back to the mouth real quick here. And let's see here. I'm trying to adjust everything so it works and picks up sound pretty well. Got a gigantic boom mic, and this thing is hard to place properly. Okay, so let's do lip syncing. So first thing that I'm going to do, I usually do this in Audacity, but I'll just do it straight through Anime Studio's recording software. I'm going to go to audio recording, and I'm trying to think. So I'm going to record something live. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm going to record some saying, and we'll make a mouth sync to it. If you have any suggestions as to what I should say and do the mouth rig for, go ahead and give me a suggestion. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh gosh, this is hard. I'm trying to think what kind of voice this character would have if I was to record some kind of voice. He'd probably have like a type voice. So I'll probably do a voice like that. I just don't know. I can look up like a funny quote or something real quick here, just so I don't go crazy trying to think of something. Quote. Okay, we'll do this. This says, I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. So I'll go ahead and record this.
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, that was embarrassing, but that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to go to add this to my project. I'm going to go ahead and save this in some random location that I can remember. Audio, and I'll just call this vacation. Okay. All right, so we added that file. So it's
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so we got that right there. So I can see this guy being a little bit silly. So that voice matched pretty well there. Sorry, Kazumi. I was gonna do high pitched, but I decided not to. Okay, so let's go ahead and first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay out the lip. This is gonna get really annoying. I'll just show you what I'm gonna be doing. You're gonna be hearing that a lot because lip syncing, you have to go through each and every sound there. Oh, but real quick, I want to show you something. Something that let me bring up the Anime Studio group real quick and show you where I got this from. So I created this little character here. Okay, you probably can't hear the audio. That's okay. It's really loud in my ears. But this is my first attempt at lip syncing with my quote unquote ultimate rig, but wasn't quite ultimate at the time. I got some really awesome feedback from a lot of people from the group. I wanted constructive criticism. I want to get better. And so this is a lot of the feedback that I got. And a lot of this helps a ton. So first thing, going to Alexander, he talks about after you do like a narrow mouth shape, like an O or a U, on a wide, I don't know what Vizime is. I should probably look that up. But whenever you go to an O or U, your mouth is going to pop back into the normal mouth position. So, and that is exactly true. But something that I want to point out here, I got Jared. He provided some awesome charts here for lip syncing. But Tom Roth, he's a professional animator. He's been working with Disney and all sorts of animation studios. Really awesome guy. And this is what he suggested. So I don't take anything that he says worth a grain of salt. I take it with 10, 20,000 pounds of salt. Okay, so right here he says, remember you are animating sounds, not words. So always think phonetically. First, identify your accent sounds, which are always vowel sounds. So A, E, O, U, or A-E-I-O-U. Sorry, I was kind of doing that in Spanish. A-E-O. Okay, and then the next part is they should be larger mouths than usual. Next, try to contrast your mouth shapes by playing wide and narrow shapes against each other. Same with open and close and big, small mouth shapes. In the line, welcome to the group, that was one I did, it's better to eliminate the less important shapes because people do slur their words in real life. Last, always keep a mirror handy to study your own mouth shapes. I tried to see if my wife had a mirror, and she did it, and I was like, dang, how am I going to do this? And then I remember I have a freaking webcam. Like, I could totally do this. So what I would do then is I'll go ahead and my screen is shared here on this side. I'm going to pull up a app called Camera. Oops. Okay. And I'll show you what I see, which is obviously me. Okay. So I'm looking at my mouth right now as I'm speaking. I have this cool webcam, and move my microphone out of the way a little bit, and I can see as I'm talking how my mouth is moving, and I can totally see what Tom means that my mouth is moving kind of fast, but a lot of the words that I slur together, I kind of just move my tongue around and my mouth doesn't do as much movement. And that's what he's referring to. This is going to be terrible frame rate on Google Hangout, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into my other, I have a dual monitor. I'm going to put this into my other monitor. So if you make a comment, I apologize. I'm not going to see that comment for a while. Let's see, try to make this smaller. There we go. So my comment's up. Nope. Dang it. Sorry, that's the hard thing about doing everything live is trying to make things work, flow evenly, and it's not really working. Okay, so now I have my mouth. I have it just my little window right here in my other screen, right where I want. And I'm going to mouth out what I just said. And I forgot what I said. So let me play this out real quick.
A 6-month vacation.
So stupid.
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so he says, I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. So if I was like how I was making that mouth, I'll show you what the mouth shape, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I'll make that mouth shape with my smart rig or mouth rig that I just made. So he's kind of got like a frown thing going. He's kind of like goofy. I'm going to save this real quick in case this thing crashes and I lose everything. Gosh, I can never know where to put these things. I'll just call this mouth. Okay. So I'm going to pretty much, this could be a little bit ridiculous because I'm going to have to do this quite often. I wish I could keep that same camera thing. You know what? I'll do that. I'm going to split this up into two. And I'm going to put my camera right there. Cool. Thank you, Windows 10, for being awesome and making that feature. Okay, so now you can see my face. I can see my face as well. And I can see the mouth rig. So I don't have a mirror. I have a camera, and that works well enough. So thank you, Tom, for suggesting that. I totally forgot I could do that. Okay, so I'm going to make that mouth shape. This is going to look a little weird because I got to show you live of how I would actually do this. So first, my mouth would be like, for that noise or whatever that was. It's like, I forgot what the quote was again. Oh, that's what it was. I need. So basically right there, I can actually, that's a pretty slow mouth movement. That's not like how I'm talking right now. Right now I'm talking like a bajillion miles per hour, but I can talk like this and it will be a lot slower. So let's go ahead and do that. So he's got this mouth shape. I'm going to bring that mouth to a close there. Oops. Let's see here. Definitely have a little bit less space to work with. So this is going to kind of be a little bit hard. Okay. So I'm going to use that as my default mouth shape. So what I do usually is I give about 3 frames till I make that mouth change. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of those. This black represents the keyframe, all the keyframes for the bones that I just moved. The red represents the selected bone that is highlighted right now. Very important to know that. And I should actually make a tutorial. I actually did a long time ago, but never posted it. But post that tutorial of knowing the importance of keyframes and channels. So I'll go ahead and I'll copy and I'll paste this. So he's going, I. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm, again, sorry, it's a little embarrassing. But I'm going to bring up that mouth right there. So he's going, so right about here, he's going I, and his mouth is going wide. Okay. And with that, because his mouth is going, not only his teeth, but his whole mouth needs to go down. So I'm going to move his lip back down. Let's see. I'm trying to think of how I can do this. Frown. Might need to do it like that. So yeah, that works. So I need So at the end of I, I'm going to bring his mouth back to that default position.
I need.
Okay. That part's a little quick. I need so just like Tom was saying, it's not all the mouth shapes that I'm trying to get, it's the sounds that I'm trying to match. Let me see if that's what he said, or I might be totally wrong. Animating sounds. Remember, you're animating sounds, and that's exactly correct. I remember being at his home studio and talking with him and just soaking it all in, and it was all a dream, and he was telling me all this stuff. And I remember, Tom, that you actually did mention that to me, so sorry for forgetting. Okay, so need. Okay, so the next part is need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up his mouth again a little bit. Where's the mouth? Need. And I'm going to create, like I said, about 2 keyframes before, I'm going to create a keyframe for the tongue, because I need to add that tongue for, oh shoot, that's lips. What am I doing? So tongue, need. Okay, so there is his little tongue there. That kind of works. So need. So you're probably not going to see the D part of need. At least I can't in my little camera window here. So what I'll do is I'll have his tongue go back down, need, and I'll have his mouth go back together like that somewhat. So I like how that looks. I'm going to add a keyframe for the lips, and I'm going to bring that lip up just a little bit more. Okay.
I need a.
So he's saying, I need. Let's see here. So he's going, so I'll open his mouth a little bit. So I need a. Very, very slightly, I will open his mouth, because again, we're animating sounds. And I'll move his lip down just a little bit. And now it's going to the S. So I need a 6. So 6, putting the teeth together. So I'm going to do the teeth. 6. So it's kind of a long S. And then it goes into. So I'm going to drag out that S. I'm going to create another keyframe with that mouth closed. Oh, yep. Kazumi, I thank you for that. I do know that the control, and in case nobody else knows, that's a very good point. Control F will freeze all of your keyframes on this. However, it's been more problematic for me. I've found a pretty systematic way of controlling things the way that I'm doing it right now. But yeah, Control F will freeze all your keyframes if you need to do that. I just remembered just to create those keyframes 2 to 3 frames ahead of the action, or the mouth opening and closing. So now he's saying 6. So right about here, so 6, his mouth is going to be going up, open. So right now what I'll do first is I'll run through just the opening and closing of the mouth. So let me go through this real quick.
I need a 6.
Okay.
I need a.
So 6, I'm going to close the mouth again. 6.
I need a 6.
And then we're going to go to month. Okay. So right now what I'm going to do, actually, and this is something I'd done a long time ago. If you've seen my Dr. Cure lip sync tutorial, it's kind of how I did it before, minus the lips and teeth and tongue and everything else. But I went through each and every single bone and I animated those out individually. And I might need to do this in this case to do this more efficiently. So I need a 6 month. So month. So right about there. So I'm going to open his mouth a little bit. Month. Maybe like, I don't know, exaggerate month a little bit, that mouth shape. Month. Probably about there. So month, and then I'll make the tongue And then vacation. Like I said, because I never really created like some sort of V type shape, I'm gonna have to try to find it. So vacation. So the teeth or the lip is gonna go closer to the top teeth. So I'll have to work on that a little bit here. So I'm gonna do it basically like this. I'm gonna have to work on this and see what I can get to work here. There was that one shape that I got. Create another keyframe. There we go. There it kind of is. Do this narrow. Bring my frown back down a little bit. Nope. Dang it. How did I do this? I'm gonna need to mess around with this a little bit. Bear with me just a moment. What the heck? How did I do that? Was his teeth down lower? I know I had that little smirky smile thing. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. So I'll actually make him smile right here. So vacation. I don't know. I'll make him smile at this part. There we go. And we'll make him smile. We'll change the emotions so we can work with our emotions a little bit. So he'll go, I need a 6-month. And then his mouth is going to go all happy. This is going to be weird. Okay, so So if you're looking at your mouth, again, I'm going to have to look at my camera here and make a fool of myself live. Vacation. So his mouth opens and then cation, and then I'm going to make it go back into a frown again. All right. Have some. What is that? Wow, I thought it was like snot dripping on my nose, but it's the little fabric on this microphone thing, pop filter. Okay, let me try that again. And then I'm going to really exaggerate the next part here. So I'm going to select all the bones that I want to change 2 or 3 keyframes beforehand. And I'm going to bring this back down. And I'm going to bring this like really wide. Let's see here. What else do I need? Vacate. Nope. Let's see. Might not work. I'll have to work with that a little bit. Oh, darn it. So I have my... Oh, that's why. My lip is in the way. And I'm going to bring that out of the way there. Let's see how that works. That doesn't really work. Let's see. Bring that down. There we go. That's the shape I'm looking for. That's quite a pretty drastic change there. It may or may not work. I'll have to work with it. Probably bring it to... Darn it. That's not going to work. That's a pretty big change in that mouth shape there. Looks really weird. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning here. Let's piece this off. And this is a really cool shortcut that I found, just happenstance actually. If you hit Alt, so say I want this to loop over and over again, because with lip syncing, you're going to be doing a lot of loops. You don't want it to play all the way through and like, dang it, I need to go all the way back here. I'm going to Alt left click, excuse me, on that frame there. So 12. And then I'm going to Alt right click on that frame there, which is 73. And that allows me to continually loop. So I'll go ahead and loop this real quick.
I need a 6-month vacation. I need a 6-month vacation. I need a...
This thing's ridiculous. Okay. So I'm going to go to I6. Okay. So something I'm noticing here is the lips are slowly moving. And that's probably because I have Yep, I have 2 different keyframes that are created. So I'm going to copy this keyframe to right here. So there's no floating movement, no floating movement, excuse me. But I will take that lip down on 6. I'll bring that. I kind of like the way that looks, but I'll bring that up just a little bit. Now I'm going to do month. So again, like I said, because I created everything in a all these, I'll show you what I'm trying to say. Let's see here. So I need to create the keyframes already there. The M, but as you can see there, the M's not necessarily connecting. That's because everything for this M was all the bones were up straight in their standard position. So I'm going to select not the tongue. I'm going to select all these. I'm going to create a keyframe for all of these. And I'm going to adjust it. Oops. So that kind of works like there. Okay. I don't like the way that looks right there in the middle. How can I do that? OS is better than switch layer. OS. Oh, OS this. Wait, OS this better. What do you mean, lead cartoon? Sorry, I don't think I understand your comment. I think I'm reading it wrong, but yeah. So this is in my opinion, obviously better than switch layers. Oh, is this better than switch layers? Oh, that's a question. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I said in the beginning of my video as I was kind of starting this out, yes, this is definitely better than switch layers, I would have to say. Simply because check this out. You can make all these emotions, all these faces with I don't know. Took me like obviously the lip syncing is a little bit more complicated, but the whole thing took me about I don't know, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes to create this whole rig, mouth rig, the ultimate mouth rig. Not really. But yeah, that's why I would definitely say this is definitely my recommendation. Interpolated switch layers, I did actually mess around with those a little bit. They look a little linear. These you can definitely control the emotions, everything. Switch layers are choppy, really good for cartoons. I made an example actually of a whole animation made with switch layers. Let's see if I can find it. Dang it, it's not it. Well, the Batman one, that one was switch layers. But the other one that I made with switch layers was my lumberjack, if I can find it. Darn it, where the heck is it? Lumberjack rigging? No, maybe this is it. I don't know. Nope, that's not it either. Anyway, so I had another animation that used nothing but switch layers. Exactly, yep. So in the chat, Dan Drake said, after you set up the SmartBone rig, you can then program actions for the SmartBone. For phoneme shapes, you can expect to repeat regularly for lip sync. Yeah, and kind of like what I was saying too, is when you do your head turns, you can also use SmartBones for head turns. So you don't have to create a switch layer for each head turn, because basically that's all you're gonna be able to do. You're gonna be able to do this position, like I'm looking at the camera, to here. And then you'd have to create a new mouth layer. And then to here, create a new mouth layer. And to here, create a new mouth layer. And that's how it would work for a switch layer when you're doing lip syncing. Anyway, enough of that. Let me go back to this. Let's see here. Okay, so now I got to fix the month. And what I want to do, month. So now I got to figure out how to get these lips to work correctly again to get that open mouth shape. Month. So I might have to work with my frown a little bit here to get that. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That, no. 6. Okay, so I need to play this out quick here real quick. And I know it's going to be kind of hard to see. Oops, I just knocked my speaker off. It's going to be kind of hard to see with the frame rate on Google Hangout, but I'll replay this out real quick.
I need a 6-month vacation.
Okay, so that drastic change of emotions does not work. So I'm going to have to fix that actually.
I need a 6 month. I need a 6 month.
No, that's not going to work. See, that doesn't work. So I wanted to change that V up higher for the vacation.
6 month.
I don't know.
6 month.
Let's see. Yeah, see, I don't really give myself enough time. So let me see what's going on here. There's something going on. There's some other keyframe being set there. Oh, that's what it is. I don't know if that's going to work. That's all right. I'll try it again. Need a 6 month. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. So I won't bring that down. I don't want to bring down that frame there. Let's see. So I'll keep it at the smiley face. So it's going to be a happy guy. Let's try that again. So something that's going on here is my keyframe frown. I want to delete that frown. So I'm just going to drastically change the emotion of this character, or his mouth shape, I should say, right in the middle of the animation. Oh my gosh, I can't hear it. I got my music going. I can't hear it.
6 month vacation.
So this is where camera comes in handy. So K. So obviously the mouth is closing. So this actually should be closing. I should have closed his mouth there. And then his mouth's going to close again on the shun. Shun. It's going to close and then open again. And that's going to be a little bit exaggerated, but I'll work with it. Shun. There's his tongue again. Okay, so I'm going to just play this out real quick and see where I need to fix this.
I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation.
I like this thing. It's kind of weird. So I think right here, I could work on maybe changing the frown slower, because right there it moves pretty quick. So I can work on moving those keyframes. Okay, that probably works. Let's try that.
I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation.
Turn that off. So that works. That works for what we're trying to achieve there. How long have I been streaming? I don't know. Let's see if my Google thing shows me. Nope, it doesn't. Well, thank you for everyone who's been with me for a year watching this. Okay, so the next part that we're going to do is
I need a 6 month vacation. I need a 6 month vacation.
Let me make sure I got everything right on that vacation part.
6 month
That works. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the next part. What I'll do is I'll just set these back to a, oops, not that. Just copy and paste this keyframe about 3 frames before the audio starts. So one more time, I'm going to click on the right here about 78. good to left click this. That's going to be my start keyframe point. And, oh, what is this part? Oops. And I'm going to click 102, 104 area, 105 area. I'm going to do Alt right click. Sorry, I'm getting to this point where I'm like brain dead trying to talk. And this is going to create my second set of frames where it will be selected to loop. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dan. He says I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks for sticking with it. Though you pretty much know all this stuff, so I appreciate your support for watching. Okay, so the next part I'm going to go to is this.
Twice a year.
So I'm going to do
twice a year.
Twice a year. All right, cool. So we're going to do twice a year. And let's really exaggerate this twice a year type of thing. Gosh dang, I need a haircut. So I'm going to do twice a year. On this twice a year, his mouth is going to go extreme. So we're going to bring out the most extreme of this mouth position that we got. And let's go ahead and do that. So twice. I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. So he's saying vacation twice. And then I'm going to keep that mouth shape. Maybe take away that tongue about 3 frames afterwards. Can't see it right now because it's not there. And then we're going to do twice. So what mouth shape do I want to do? Twice. I'm going to work with the narrow, the width and the narrow for twice. When you go twice, your mouth actually goes in a little bit. I need a 6-month vacation. Yeah, I didn't ever use twice or or something like that. So I'm going to do twice with his mouth close together. So let's go ahead and set that mouth shape up. And I'll stop talking. So let's see here. Twice. Okay, so I'm going to bring that in. And I'm going to bring that mouth close. Let's see here. The lip. Nope, it's not working. Make this a little bit wider. Okay, let's see. So I'm just working with it, trying to get the right emotion that I'm looking for. I don't think I can make a circle, can I? There we go. That's kind of, nope. So you'll have to work with it. I kind of limited myself with this mouth rig as to the mouth shapes I can make. You can make more advanced rigs if you wanted to. I'm trying to think of how to get this going right. Twice. Something that would be a pretty cool suggestion. Let me show you real quick. This is something I just actually thought of now that I'm like working with these mouth shapes. I would like to move my mouth itself up and down. Wondering if that would work. I mean, it would work, but I'm wondering if it would work in the animation. Let me go ahead and do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new bone layer. All right. Okay. Once it stops selecting all the bones. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to create a new, not bone layer. I'm just going to create a new bone. And I'm going to call this move. Okay. For like move the mouth. And I'm going to make I'm trying to think if I should do a target bone for this. No, that'll take too long. So I'm just going to do a smart bone dial. And I'm going to move the mouth shape itself up and down to kind of get a little bit more flexibility there with the mouth. I'm going to do this at 50 and 20 frames. Okay, so all I'm going to do now, because I know my mouth is being controlled with points, I'm just going to move the layer. So I'm going to go to the mouth, the whole mouth layer, and I'm going to select it. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Dang it. I'm going to go to the mouth, and I'm going to select that, create the keyframe, and I'm just going to move that down. Oh, that's not going to work. I'll move it down slightly. I'll work with this as I try to figure out what I'm trying to do. Probably won't make sense right now, but I think I have an idea of what I want to do. And I will move this up to about there-ish. Okay, so I'll try to show you what I'm doing now. All right, so now that I created that smart bone to kind of work this out a little bit better, I want to take advantage of what's inside of his mouth, but I couldn't because I had his mouth in a fixed position. But I'll move it up and I'll move it down a little bit, and we'll see how it works. Kind of like when you see in cartoons where they go, ooh, and their whole mouth moves back and forth. It's kind of what I'm wanting to do. So right there, I'm saying twice, and it's like too high up in his mouth. So what I want to do is I want to move his mouth down. Let's see if this works right. Oh, what the hey? Oh, okay. So I need to go back to my bone. Select the bone. There we go. So something like that is what I was trying to achieve there. Let's see if that works though. So that moved drastically. So let me separate that bone out just a little bit further. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select to about frame, what is that, 57? I'm going to select frame 57. And I'm going to bring out that a little bit further. So I can connect these two sentences together. Well, it's actually one sentence, but okay, that works. That's doing what I want it to do. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what's this keyframe and what's this keyframe. I'll delete that, maybe. Oh, that's what that was. Okay, that makes sense. I'll just bring all that together. Okay. So his mouth then moved down, which is cool. That's what I wanted it to do. Just want to make sure sorry, this is taking a while, but I'm trying to get this right. Okay. So that did what I wanted it to. I want his mouth to move down, kind of giving it the illusion that it's actually his lips, but technically I moved his whole mouth shape down. Let's see here. So Dan Drake says on the chat, if you are just if you just want to adjust the position of the shape, you can just bind the lip points to a bone that you can move freely. That's also another good suggestion. Maybe not testing it with the rig I'm working on right now. Okay, so he's going to test that out. And Dan, if you want to do kind of what we were doing before, where you hop on with me on this Google Hangout, just let me know and I'll invite you. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. So twice. So now I got his mouth shape. Now I'm going to try to do that twice. So I'm going to bring his corners of his mouth in for the twice. And what I'm going to do basically right now is I'm just going to mess with it to try to get that shape. So twice. And it's kind of diamond shaped because those points there's only 3 points on the top of his mouth, but that might work. Let me twice. So I want to do twice. And whenever you get in this situation, remember, not everything is controlled with smart bones. So essentially what I would do is I would go into the animation itself on the timeline and I would adjust those points, but I'll do this afterwards. And I will adjust the curvature just for those points, just for that mouth shape. You can do that. You can do point animation. Don't get caught up with just, oh, everything has to be controlled by smart bones, because it doesn't. In cases like this, I need to do point animation. I need to make that curvature because I wasn't able to rig it properly with the rig that I showed. But that's okay, because this is the ultimate mouth rig in creation. Like, I really don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm kind of doing it as I go. Just thought I'd let you know. So next I'm going to go to so we're going to go back to a large mouth shape. So twice. Let's see here. So it goes twice. I don't know. We'll make his mouth large. We'll work with it. So what do I want to achieve? So I want to do that. I want to bring his mouth back to a frown. I want to largen it. I want to move the teeth out of the, nope, not that. Get the tongue out of the way for sure. Let's see, mouth wide. Maybe move the mouth down a little bit. Nope, twice. See, how cool is that? Okay, I don't even know I didn't think about that, but I can change his whole mouth shape now, which I really like that I was able to figure something like that out. Okay. So there's a lot of mouth movement going on, and it looks unnatural, so I'll have to work with it as I go. So like right here, I'm actually watching. This is slowly the narrow. I didn't set my keyframe. That's slowly going in, and that looks terrible. I'm going to do set that keyframe back there. Nope. Okay, I see what I was trying to do. So I'm going to set that keyframe right here. Copy and paste that keyframe so it's not slowly narrowing in. That'll work. So twice. Okay. So I'm going to again close his mouth. Let's see. This is gonna be a little bit weird. What else do I need to do? I need to fix the frown. And I possibly need to move the mouth up a little bit because it's a little bit too far down. So again, I'm going to go back to just the opening and closing parts. So I'll do that real quick. It goes,
twice a year. Twice a year.
Sorry for that outburst. Just trying to get my mouth shape again. Okay. So it looks like Dan made some headway there. So he says, it may work if, oh, wait. Okay, seems that binding any of those points to a non-smartbone overrides some of the smartbone commands in my rig. It may work if the mouth shape is just a mask and binding that layer to a positioned bone. Jury is still out on my idea. Okay. Well, looks like that's kind of like a work in progress is what Dan has going on there. But Dan, again, if you want to jump on and show someone how this works, you can totally do that as well. Show me too as well as what you got. And let's just take this year and let's just drag it out and just make them look super weird. So we'll do lip all the way out, mouth all the way down. Nope. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do the super wide. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to go back through my animation, and I'm going to now touch up on some endpoints. Animation, lip syncing usually doesn't take this long, but it does take this long to explain what I'm doing. So I do apologize if this is pretty long. So let me go back here.
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so I see a couple parts that I still need to fix, and that's okay.
I need a 6-month vacation.
So he goes from this to this, and again, like I said, it looks a little weird.
6-month vacation.
But I kind of pulled it off.
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year. I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so now we're going to go to that part where Tom Roth was talking about. Animate sounds, don't animate mouth movement. So if I look at my mouth,
I need a 6-month vacation.
So
6.
The 6 is actually very, very subtle. You don't need to open your mouth super wide for 6. So I'll fix that.
I need a 6.
So, I mean, that's not really wide as it is, but I'll fix it either way. So I'll make it smaller. Okay. So it goes 6. Okay. And then right here, so this is what I'm talking about. So this is where you can do point animation. So as you can see there, it's a little bit curved.
I need a 6 month.
Only gonna be for a frame, but I'm very picky when it comes to this stuff. So I'm gonna go to a frame before this. And as you can see there, that's gonna need it too. But I'm gonna do a curvature tool. See here. So I'll set a keyframe for my curvature tool. The keyframe for the point itself. So I'll set a keyframe for the curvature tool, and then I'll curve it right here. And I'll fix this too, so that month is together as well. So I'll set a curvature point for all of these. Actually, I'll just, how can I do this? I think I highlight all of them and then just push C maybe. So hopefully that sets a curvature keyframe from all those. Okay, so I'm going to curve this. See, and that's the other thing that you can do with point animation is, look, I totally changed the shape of his mouth and it's still functioning somewhat with the mouth layers. So if you want to do some crazy shapes as well, you can always throw in your point animation after you completed everything with your smartphone. But I'm not going to make it super crazy like that. I just want to make this a closed mouth. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'll highlight each point separately and curve those. Okay, so it's not that one. It's not. There we go. There it is. All right. So now his mouth, I can like maybe. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, it now everything has a curve to it, and I can remove that curve if I want to. But I kind of like that open mouth feature there. So it's keeping that curvature keyframe still in there as the mouth is opening. Okay. So he's saying month, and I should probably just bring the tongue up just for the heck of it. So again, 1 to 2 keyframes beforehand, bring up the tongue. Tongue's still there. Tongue's gone. All right. Let's see what that looks like.
A 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so as you can see there, as the rest of the animation is played out, it still has that curvature. So what do I need to do? I need to reset that curvature after I've used it, or it's going to use that curvature keyframe throughout the whole entire animation, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go back to mouth. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of those points, and I'm going to go to my curvature tool, and I'm going to, let's see here, peak. Nope. I'm going to select the black keyframe, and I'm going to reset those points. There we go.
I need a 6-month vacation.
So there's another one right there. Like I said, I wanted to make that more of a circle, so I can do that. I'm going to go into my curvature tool, go ahead and highlight all these, make a curvature keyframe. Actually, I'm going to bring that out just right there. And on this curvature part, I'm going to select the points that I want to curve first. Darn it. So select it. There we go. And I'm just going to curve that out, curve that out, curve that, curve that. And then I'll reset those curvature key points. So there shouldn't be affected. Oh, it's still affected. So let's see what's going on here. So I should have selected all those curve points there. There it goes. Okay. And if I wanted to now, because I didn't have the ability, I can actually take this mouth shape and move it in a lot closer, like I wanted to. Okay, just make sure you create the necessary keyframes prior, or you'll really mess things up. So what I'll do is I'll click this, oops, highlight all those, and I'll create a keyframe just for your standard keyframe. And then okay, and then I'm going to move that in, probably about right there. And that's square, and I want to fix those curvature points actually. So I'll fix that as well because I have that selected still, all those curvature points. So I'll curve that out, curve that out. All right, so now what I need to be wary of is I mess with a lot of different points. So as the rest of the animation plays out, you can see the effect. So I need to reset first my curvatures. Okay, there, that's reset. And the other thing that I need to reset is my points that I was messing with. So those are now reset. So there you go. So that's the difference. So that twice part was really a really quick action. So that what I just did wasn't necessary. But I do that just because I'm kind of picky. Okay, here's another mistake. As you can see, the frown is showing the gums right there. Again, unless you're looking at this frame by frame, you wouldn't notice that. But that's something very easy to fix. All I would do essentially is go back into my frown because that's what's controlling those points essentially. Go back into the bone for the frown. And I can see I actually have it set a little bit too low. So I'll just fix that just by going like that. Okay. So that's not too big of an issue.
Twice a year.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different of a typical mouth shape that you'd make because he's essentially talking with the corner of his mouth pulled down, and every single mouth movement is extremely exaggerated. Whereas right now my lips are doing most of the talking essentially, because I mumble a lot when I talk, and I don't move my mouth around a lot. Or if I do move my mouth around, it's kind of a quicker motion.
This one's more like,
as you can see, that one's more like your mouth is kind of stressed. You kind of got to use your whole mouth to make those sounds because I'm not really using my lips. As you can see there, he's not really using his lips. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go through the animation one more time again.
I need a 6-month vacation twice a year.
Okay, so that's basically it, guys. What I'm going to do right after I finish recording this is I'm going to attach the, I know this is really long, but I'm going to attach the file in the Dropbox down below. So you'll have that for your, let's see here, for your pleasure, I guess. So you can use this rig to your heart's content. I don't have any copyrights or anything on this thing. Work with it as much as you want. See how things work. If you find new ideas, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely willing to learn other ways of getting better. We can all learn from each other. Down in the description, definitely check out the group. You'll have awesome people like Dan and Tom and all sorts of people that will help you with your animations along the way to really get you going there. So definitely visit the group down in the bottom section there. Like I said, I'll leave this in like a Dropbox or something, and let me know what you think of this stream. Probably won't get too many views of people watching this after, but for the people 6 watching now, if you can let me know what you think in the actual comments below once this finishes up, I would really appreciate it, because I like to see if I actually am able to help someone or if I'm just flapping my jaw here, which is essentially what this guy is doing. Okay, so it's been fun, you guys. Definitely appreciate everyone that was here and that helped out. And I will see you guys later.